How you guys doing? So on this episode of the Playbook, we are going to talk about the 49ers offense. Joe's going to go over that. I'm going to talk about the Eagles defense and the Jets offense, kind of both sides of that game. Then we're just going to talk about DeShaun Watson. He kind of talked a little X's and O's again, so that was interesting to hear. Talk about how that's something cool. Then we're going to review our records. We're going to talk about the quarter season MVPs that we got. Then we're going to go through our picks. Talk a little college football, a little fantasy, and we will see you there. Enjoy. What's good, football fans? I'm Rob Planner. I'm with Joe Hackett. This is the Playbook. Joe, it's a new week. Let them know.
No, we're being formal because we need to get down to business.
Yeah, we definitely do. There's big things going on in Week 6. The Jets franchise quarterback is back.
Woo-hoo-hoo.
I'm excited about that.
And on the sixth week, he rose again.
Yeah.
Fulfillment of the scriptures.
Joe, I spoke this weekend in our group chat with all our friends from home about how much it bothers me of how openly optimistic you are about the way the Jets are about to get destroyed with the injury bug that we have going on.
Yeah, but listen, why be a fan if you're not going to be happy about your team?
Yeah, you got to have some kind of optimism.
Like all these Kansas City fans, and they have something to root for and stuff, and we don't, but it's fun to have something to root for because any man can be beat on any day.
Yeah, honestly, that's the right way to go about it. It's just, I guess looking at this game, I knew kind of what was going on here. Honestly, I thought we would have had more of a shot, and I guess we're going to go in our X and O's for today. I'm just going to talk about the Jets offense and the Eagles defense because it is a very simple thing that, honestly, you see a lot of good teams in the NFL. It's how you see teams blow other teams out the way they did it. And we'll just talk about this now. So, the Eagles, if you watch that game, they legitimately stacked the box. 8 guys in the box, there was never 6 guys, less than 6 guys in the box. Always that much. And they were bringing it. Passing situations, 1st and 10, they were bringing 7 guys, bringing 8 guys. And then when they were even when they did bring 4 guys, they would, put 7 in the box and they would bring 4 guys, but they were just winning one-on-ones. And when you can just be that dominant against an offensive line, the Eagles secondary is really banged up. A lot of guys are hurt, but if you can't get the ball into the secondary, combine the fact that we have a 3rd-string quarterback playing and the fact that, our O-line is god-awful right now, it's just a recipe for disaster, and the Eagles absolutely took full advantage of that. It was dead.
Yeah, and like you said, even when they did rush 4, they got to the QB, but they were still stacking the box. So that just shows a complete lack of respect for Luke Falk in this offensive line. And they were right.
Yeah, it's just, that you come with a game plan. The Eagles knew that they were going to be able to dominate the offensive line, and they did exactly that. If you look, on the other side of the ball, it wasn't too bad. Carson managed the game well. They put up what I want to say.
They only put 17 points up.
See, that's the thing.
The offense only put up 17. Yep. This is a team that's averaging 27 points a game, and the Jets defense held them to 17 points.
And that was something that Gase spoke about, too, in the postgame. He was just saying, we know what the problem is. Our offense is the problem. Our O-line, he said, we need to be better on offense. But defense isn't bad. This is not a bad fit. This Philly team's really good. This is a very good football team.
I'm actually if I'm an Eagles fan, I'm kind of disappointed we didn't hang a 50 burger up.
Yeah, definitely. You just look at the fact that even with our defense, we got guys still hurt. Avery's not playing. Obviously, he's out for the season. CJ is still hurt. Quentin Williams is not playing 100%. It's not. It's our defense. We have a good team. The team's not bad. It's just the injuries are really killing us, and this O-line situation is just not the greatest.
And also, even last year, you saw this last year, and I'm not saying it's like something with the coaching. No, it's not. It has a little bit to do with the coaching, but football is a game of possession. Okay? Not just clock time, how long you have possession of the football, where you have possession of the football. If you watch the New York Jets this year, minus week 1, or throw in week 1, whatever. How many drives did the opposing offense start just outside the 50 or just inside the 50? And we only gave up 17 points last week. The defense isn't the problem.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, the only time that we really saw the defense really struggling was, the Browns. But even then, it wasn't.
But even then, it's
awful.
one play.
Yeah.
We put a linebacker on OBJ. We were betting on the pass rush getting to Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, but then there was the other play on the sideline too, which is just Odell
Odell being Odell, which I'll get into Odell later, but
yeah. So I'll let Joe. So Joe's going to talk about the 49ers, give us some X's and O's there, but I'm just going to talk about, again, DeShaun Watson. A reporter, I think, actually asked for him to break down their defense and what he was looking at in detail, and it's cool to see. I hope it doesn't happen every week, because this week was kind of like, he gave a lot this week. He was talking about diamond fronts. He was talking about how there's kind of like a chaser safety over the middle. And basically what he was saying is, last week there was a lot of, it was cover 4. Everybody dropped back. He had to take what he can get. This week he could make throws, and he was making his throws. The game plan for Atlanta was they were going to come in. They were going to make him off of last week's performance. I guess they're thinking, you know what, we'll let him throw the ball downfield because he'll miss, because he missed last week. So maybe that was part of their thought. But they were just going to let him sit there and, be an NFL quarterback, and that's what he did. Will Fuller, over 200 yards, 3 touchdowns. I think DeShaun threw for 4 or 5 touchdowns.
I think it was 5.
So, yeah, he had a good game, and, he knows what he's talking about, obviously. But it's just interesting seeing him go through that and just kind of walk everybody through it. This week was a lot different than last week. He was getting his throws and he was making them. They let him throw it downfield, and he's like I said, he can kill you. That's what I said it last week. If you give him the opportunity to, he's gonna have his off weeks, but he's gonna have those weeks where he will throw for 400 yards and 5 touchdowns. So it's But moving on, Joe, let's talk about the 49ers, because that was a god-awful pick by me. The Browns do not look good, but go ahead, Joe.
Going back to the picks, I actually had the Niners circled, but I went with the Browns, so it's an L for me too.
Did you actually?
Yeah, I could take a picture. I could take a screenshot. I had the Niners literally circled, and I was like, you know what? Screw it, Browns.
I kind of do remember that last week. I do kind of remember you switching it. Yeah, yep, okay, all right.
So when we get into the X's and O's, I love talking about the 49ers because there's literally nothing to talk about. They are a traditional football team. Jimmy G, the ball left his hand 29 times yesterday night. Seems like a lot. George Kittle had the most targets, 8 targets. They're not a one-dimensional team, but they run the ball very well. They have multiple targets. They spread the ball around. Like I said, George Kittle had the most targets on the team at 8. And then besides that, let me look at these stats here. Marquise Goodwin had 4 targets. Okay, Jimmy G, 20 for 29. Good game. I don't think he's a top-tier quarterback, but I don't think he needs to be with this run game. And this is when we get into the old discussion. A lot of teams had a lot of success a long time ago in the NFL, and that was because they were able to run the football, but they had something that a lot of teams this year don't, and that's fullback. Kyle Juszczyk, I don't know how to say his name. When he left that game with his knee injury, he'll be out 4 to 6 weeks. The run game changed. He makes that big of a difference. The offensive line played well, but when he left, tackle in the backfield. Oh, we'll run it again. Gain of 1. When he's in the game, they're nearly unstoppable in the run game. Okay? Yeah. Matt Breida and who's the other running back? Tevin Coleman?
Coleman, yep.
Tevin Coleman should have had 100 yards. Matt Breida had 100 easy. They should have had 2 running backs go for 100, but they took Tevin out because it was a blowout. What is up with the Browns?
I honestly just think that this Browns team's weird. It's because it's every phase. I'm not sure because I didn't watch the game last night. Honestly, I didn't. But I'm not sure if Greedy's back or if Denzel, because I know they were hurt last week. I'm pretty sure they both were hurt. But Yeah, this Browns team is an interesting situation. I mean, the front seven's fine. There's a really good front seven. It's just this 49ers offense is ridiculous. The O-line itself, I mean, I remember kind of going downstairs at our apartment and seeing that the O-line, like halfway through the third, they had already ran for 256 yards or
Well, yeah,
something like that.
their
Like,
first play from scrimmage was a
it's like an
75-yard
eight.
touchdown.
Well, that's what I
Or it might have
heard.
been
The
80, yeah.
announcers is talking about how Breida had like an 83-yard touchdown. I'm like,
Mhm.
oh yeah, this was over
Off the
from the
rip.
start, kind of thing. Yeah, and whenever you that happens, I mean, you're not going to play too many teams nowadays who are going to do what the 49ers do. They're going to put a fullback back there. They're going to run be able to run the ball that well is the biggest thing. Teams just do not do that.
I can
much,
really only think of 3 teams off the top of my head that have a fullback on the roster. That's the 49ers, the Patriots, and Oakland.
And the reason for that is because they're going to, most teams just use a tight end if they really need to, or they're just going to go single back. They're not even going to put anybody in that strong, that fullback, strong back, for whatever you want to call it. But, yeah, that's just the nature of the beast. I mean, if you got guys that can –
yeah, and there's really not much more to talk about. They are a solid offensive team. They do everything well.
And yeah, just from just to give it some perspective, if you have an offensive line, and honestly, it's the opposite of the thing we saw in the Jets game. The 49ers have an offensive line where if they're going to run the ball, these guys are going to be, and they're going to get the defensive line at least, 1 yard on their side of the field. So they're going to, that kind of push up front makes a huge difference. And you see with the Vikings too, and that's why Cook does so well. Just if you can have an offensive line that can move the line in the direction you want to go, then you're going to be good. I mean, and you look at defenses that are able to do that to offense. I mean, the Jets, when you're starting 1 yard in the backfield, that's never good. You're never going to be able to have a successful offense if you cannot move guys in the direction you want to go. Like football sometimes is as simple as that, like you were talking about, Joe.
And another thing, just one more before we move on, is Kyle Shanahan. He comes out in a lot of I formations. Okay, now for those who don't really know what an I formation is, quarterback's usually under center. It's a very traditional way, and it kind of makes an I. You have a running back and maybe a fullback in between the running back and quarterback. Okay, now when you run out of the I formation, the running back's getting the ball no more than maybe a yard behind the line of scrimmage, which is different when you have teams like the Jets who run a little bit of pistol, who run a lot of shotgun. When you give, and we can because the Jets have Le'Veon Bell, but when you give your running back the ball, he's getting it 4-3 yards in the backfield, and it does make a difference when it comes to running, especially without a fullback. And it's just something I like what the Niners are doing, and I don't know who they have next week, but look out because I'm not sold on them because the Browns I don't think are that good of a team, honestly. But it is something we have to take notice. It's their first time going 4-0 since the 1960s, was it?
So yeah, I get it hasn't happened in a very long time. I have no idea, honestly, but this is not normal for the 49ers. I mean, my barber actually is a 49ers fan, and this guy was chatting the last 3 years about how the 49ers this is their I mean, he's a very optimistic fan, as you should be, I guess.
As you should be.
Yeah, but this year when he said that, and I'm on the Jimmy G train. I really thought he was a special talent, and clearly. That's not the strength. The passing game is not the strength in San Francisco. But, they're getting it done. They're getting it done. They are finding a way to get it done. So it's good to see. It's good to see, I guess, to see a team, hopefully it'll be the Jets one day, but a team that has success sparingly to be, they give the fans something to cheer about. So
long season.
Yep. But, all right, Joe, let's go to a review of the picks. And what did we agreed to change the best in words to something else? You might have to jog my memory. I forget what we even said.
It was the MVP discussion.
Oh, okay, they recorded. Okay, so first, my record right now is 45, 32, and 1.
And mine is 48, 29, and 1. Not as bad as I thought it was going to be because I took a lot of risky picks. Some of them paid off.
Joe did take a lot of risky ones. This was the first time we were quite different, and I said either he was going to run away with it or I was going to close, and I'm closing on the boys.
And honestly, some of them I was kind of right, but you were also right. So like with the Rams came down to a missed field goal.
Yep.
I can't really think of anything else off the rip. There was another one. Oh yeah, and then
The Panthers.
Gardner, that was but he shouldn't even have been in the game anyway. Gardner Minshew is playing well. We're all the memes aside, he played. He had a little rough first quarter, but then after that, he kind of picked it up.
Yeah.
You can't spot a team 3 possessions and expect to win if you're a football
exactly.
team. That's what they did.
Yep. So, all right. So those are the records. So quarter MVP. How do you, Joe? This is on you. How do you want to do it?
Okay, obviously, I'm going Gardner Minshew. No, I'm kidding.
I knew you were gonna say it. I had that feeling.
He's got to be in the talk. But I think this isn't going to shock many. Well, it is going to shock people if you don't watch football every day. And it's not Patrick Mahomes. And I'm stuck between two. Russell Wilson and Christian McCaffrey.
Yep. And Joe, I like those picks because, McCaffrey was my second and I wasn't. It's got to be Russ, honestly. I wasn't thinking him.
Just because of the quarterback bias. Just because of the quarterback bias. It's a quarterback-driven league. Quarterback's most likely going to win MVP. But if you look at the percentage that Christian McCaffrey's touching the ball and scoring, not just touching the ball. He's touching the ball a ridiculous amount, but touching the ball and scoring is ridiculous. It's off the chain.
It's not. It is. He's carrying. I mean, Cam's gone, but it's almost telling you that, what did they win one game with Cam because he got hurt in week 3? He didn't play week 3.
Did they win? Yeah, I don't even know if they won a game with Cam.
I thought they won one
because they lost to Tampa. I forgot who they opened up with.
I'll say they lost to Tampa on Thursday. But anyway, McCaffrey carries. I mean, he carries the team. He's the workhorse.
They opened up with the Rams, so no, they didn't. They didn't win a game with Cam.
Didn't win a game. Okay.
I don't think so.
But I think that it might be helping the fact that they're not so McCaffrey reliant. I mean, they were the first week. First week he had a good game too, but yeah. I think that he's just being a workhorse in the NFL now isn't I'm going to get 30 carries or and I got to all my hard runs 4 or 5 yards. Like now being a workhorse is you're going to have your 20 carries probably, and on top of that you're going to have to 7 to 10, I say 5 to 7 receptions. That's what a workhorse
for Christian McCaffrey it's more like 11.
Yeah, which is and that's what I'm saying. Most running backs are going to be 20. You figure I say 15 to 18 carries and then 5 to 7 receptions.
Yeah,
he's looking at 22 carries and almost 12, 13 receptions a game, and and he handles it. He handles it well. He still has bursts in the
he blocks well
because he's a big dude. McCaffrey, I'd say he's my pick, but I mean the thing is Russell, he's just winning the Seahawks games. He just wills them to win. Lockett's great for him, and Chris Carson, he's been better since his fumbling thing. But Russ is great. Russ is just a really good player. He's worth every cent. Because what would that team be without him? Honestly, so I like those picks. I wanted to go Mahomes. I got a Mahomes bias, but he's just
I love Mahomes. I legit love Mahomes. Yeah, these last 2 weeks are killing him. I hope they treat his ankle right because they could really screw this kid's season up if they don't play it right.
Yeah, and I mean he's gonna. It's gonna have to be a call where he's not coming off the field. So,
yeah. But the thing is, I think what I noticed this week is number one, the one play he made where he ran 40 yards and threw a touchdown was amazing. That was an MVP type play. But you realize how limited he is. I'm not saying he can't make every throw. He can make every throw. But how limited he is when he can't run all of a sudden. He has to stay in the pocket and deliver. And I don't know if he was playing hurt, but he missed a few balls. It's a game. They're going to have bad games. I'm not jumping off the Mahomes bandwagon, but it just makes me respect players like Tom Brady so much more who really don't have the athletic ability. Phillip Rivers, who don't have the athletic ability. And they're putting up not as good as numbers, but they're putting up similar they have put up similar numbers in their career.
Yeah, and I agree with that because week 1 you saw he's not a quarterback who just kind of stands in there. He moves around a lot. Patty is going to move around, and even the Ravens game he was the same thing, moving around so much. And he's just one of those guys who like you said he needs his legs. Patty's not gonna like he reminds me. I mean, he's a lot better, but he reminds me of a young Roethlisberger, where he, he can make plays, but he's got to move. He's not going to stand in there. He can, but he's going to need his legs, and that's kind of a thing where this ankle really might be getting to him. Now, there was one play actually. He was in his own end zone, and his lineman stepped on his ankle, and he was kind of limping. And
he was doing that thought walk.
And I was nervous for a minute because it looked kind of serious, but it's just, he's playing with – it's a pain tolerance thing with his ankle right now. So we'll see what happens. I mean, 2 weeks that were, not awful days for every quarterback, but for Patrick Mahomes, he's not happy with how that went down. So
2 weeks, one touchdown? We'll see. What?
So I think right now the MVP, I guess, me and Jay, I'll go, I guess, Russ number 1, McCaffrey 2, and Patty 3, but kind of far down.
Well, now even with Patty's last 2 weeks, I'd throw DeShaun Watson in there, who's playing ridiculous.
Yeah, because DeShaun has had the bigger. What do you figure? They had two good weeks, too bad. Yeah, I can see it. And Lamar, dude, that's not happening.
It's out. It's out of the water. It's not even. No, get him out. No,
he's not an MVP. I mean, good, he's decent. He just can't throw the ball. All right, yeah. So we're moving on. Picks, Joe. Let's move on to that.
So we open up on Thursday night, and this is going to be the first week since he's starting that I know you're not going to pick him. Danny Dimes is traveling to New England, and the New England's going to win. They're 16-point favorites. I do like the Giants spread. I don't think they're going to lose by 16 points. I don't think they're that bad, but I don't like the Giants winning this game.
No, yeah, Joe, I agree. As much as he's
just look at Bill Belichick's record versus first-year quarterbacks, rookie quarterbacks, young quarterbacks. He gets to them.
Yeah, and they're just this team's not built to beat this Patriots team. I mean, the Patriots haven't played anyone too impressive yet. I mean, every week
they've played nobody impressive.
I mean, Saquon,
except the Bills.
But yeah, and you saw it was a close game, and Allen got hurt. So, I mean. It's, Saquon's back. We'll see how that goes. Or maybe he's back. We don't know for sure, but we'll see. But, yeah, Patriots, I think Patriots.
Yeah, you don't want to rush
I like the spread, too, though. Yeah, the spread might be good because the Giants aren't an awful team. Defense is terrible, though. So,
we'll see. Maybe the spread, but I do like the over 42 points.
Yeah, okay. I can see that. I can see that. Well, if you're taking a spread, you definitely got to take the over. So, I mean.
Yeah. So, before we move on to the Sunday games, I just want to point out the 4 teams on a bye. You got Oakland, who's playing ridiculous. Indy playing ridiculous. The Bears, and the Bills. Okay, so now we're moving on to Sunday games. Morning game, because they got it right this week. They're playing in England again. Well, not again, but it's another England game. Carolina and Tampa. Tampa's technically the home team. I don't know who to pick.
I'm going with the Panthers, honestly. I think that Allen just manages well. He's a game manager. He's the type of backup you would want. I mean, he's not the best. I mean, there's better backups in the league, but he does what he needs to do, and McCaffrey will be able to do enough. So I like the Panthers.
Do you think the time change is going to be an influence? I'm just trying to think who the time change is going to affect the most.
I mean – I just don't.
Tampa should have beat the Saints, or not should have, but they played very well against the Saints.
Yeah. I mean, my whole thing, I guess, I'll just look at the quarterback, and I think Allen prepares a lot better than Winston prepares. I think that's
Winston's too busy trying to eat his hand.
I just don't. I don't think he's lazy. No, he's not Jamarcus Russell, but he's. I don't know. Jameis just does not. Him and Mariota have this Jameis is the better quarterback. I'd take him over Mariota, but they have this very average thing about them. And
they're very similar.
Again, Oregon fans saying the Mariota thing. It sucks, but it is what it is. He's average at best. So, yeah, I'm going Panthers, though.
I really don't know. I want to go Carolina because they have the MVP. And they're actually favored – I'm going to go Carolina. I know I'm going to regret it when Tampa wins, but I'm going Carolina.
I mean, it's not. This is not an easy call. I mean,
that's probably the hardest game we're going to call.
Yeah, because if the Bucks, if Jameis is on, then this game's a done deal, bro. Mike Evans is going to have 50 fantasy points, and there it is. That's all she wrote.
So then we move on to the 1:00 games. Cincy and Baltimore. Baltimore's going to get back on track. They're fine. They're going to beat Cincy. We don't need to spend any time.
Yeah,
on this,
we don't
right?
need to talk about
They're 12.
that. Yeah,
they're 12-point favorites. The over is 47. If you think Baltimore is going to put up 30, take the over. 1 o'clock. Another 1 o'clock game. Houston and the Chiefs. This is a tough one. Is Patty Mahomes 100%?
Game. This is definitely the game that I'll have next to the Jets game when I watch it. But
well, the Jets game's at 4. You'll be able to watch this game.
Oh, it is? Okay, okay. Yeah, the Cowboys, bro. Every week, like they get to it's either 8 o'clock Monday or 4.
But the weird thing is we're home too, which is weird.
Yeah, so I mean, but yeah, so I guess I gotta find another game to watch. But yeah, no, I'm going. I'm going Chiefs. I'm going Chiefs. Yeah. Texans.
Yeah,
not
I can't see the Chiefs dropping 2 in a row. But hey, I can see Houston putting up a lot of points on them, and the over is 54 points. I almost like it. It might be a trap. But I would actually go with the under. I think KC. They're hurt though. I don't know. I'm going KC. No betting advice on that one.
Yeah.
Next game, New Orleans at Jacksonville. Let me tell you something. Jacksonville is the favorite right now, as of right now.
Yeah.
I'm going New Orleans. Teddy Bridgewater hasn't given me a reason not to bet with the New Orleans Saints. Yeah, so I'm going New Orleans, and the over is 44. Don't know, but take New Orleans because they are +2 right now.
Yeah, I wouldn't take the over there just because Minshew did throw for almost 400 yards this week, so maybe I don't know. That's risky, but Teddy's just one of those quarterbacks. If you put talent around him, he can be a good quarterback, you know. Mm-hmm. So he's proven it. So yeah, I'm going Saints too.
Then we get another game that I like: Philly versus Minnesota. Minnesota is favored by 3 points. I don't know if it's because the offensive performance that Carson Wentz had. You know, Minnesota has a solid defense, a very good defense. I'd say it's top 10. But I really don't know who to pick here. I'm leaning Philadelphia.
I'm going to go Minnesota here. And the reason why is they just seem more impressive to me, I guess. I don't know. I was watching earlier today. I was watching some of the highlights from that game. And they just, it seems like it's just clicking. You know, they're starting to throw the ball more. Diggs got involved. Thielen had at least 1 touchdown, I know. So, yeah, no, I'm gonna go Minnesota. That offense looks good. It looks like they're. I think Diggs is gonna stay. They're not like too upset anymore. Everybody's happy. So I think I'm going Minnesota.
All right, yeah, I think I'm gonna go Minnesota. They're home, and pay attention to player props in that game.
Too, yeah.
Yeah, pay attention to the player props in that game. Last game, Kirk Cousins was like, the over for him to throw was like 220 yards, and he got it in the first half. So pay attention to Kirk Cousins while he's kind of down, even though he's up now. Pay attention to those player props. Another 1 o'clock game is Seahawks at Cleveland. I'm going Seattle.
Yeah, I'm going Seattle too. I was trying to decide what games I wanted to. I figured it out. I'm definitely going. Yeah, I'm picking Seattle, but I'm going Eagles, Vikings, Texans, Chiefs. That's going to be the combination. But yeah. I'm going Seahawks. Dangerous though.
And I would take the spread. They're favored by 1.5 points. Can we just stop and talk about the Browns real fast? What do you think is the problem there?
I think the Browns' problem is the offensive line hasn't been what it's been. And I also think that I think Baker's a little overwhelmed. I think there's definitely a little sophomore slump thing going on for him. But I just don't think they can get their offense running the way they want to because the offensive line isn't what it's honestly been in Cleveland for a while. Like they've had a really good offensive line. They just haven't had anybody who can get the ball to receivers, you know, or the threats out there, you know. So I think that's the biggest issue. The O-line's just not what they were.
So we agree where it comes to their biggest issues, the O-line. But we it would be unproductive for this conversation if we didn't talk about a solution. What do you think is a quick solution for this team?
I mean, if it's me, I'm just gonna start. I mean, start
'Cause I
letting
have
it
a very
fly
hot
more. I
take.
mean, I'm gonna start getting the ball to. I'm gonna start getting the ball to my best players. Odell needs to be involved more. Like, there's no reason why he shouldn't, run a screen, run a bubble screen. Let him just be an athlete. Just allow Odell, lean on your best players, kind of like you do in basketball. Same thing.
All right, now I have a complete different solution. My solution, and it might be a hot take. It might just be me. I've watched the majority of the Browns games. I've watched probably 4 or 3 out of the 5, like completely. Trade OBJ. See what you could get for him.
Joe, that is
You
not
need
even
an
hot. That
offensive
is just
line. You
Joe.
trade. You
Hot
trade for
takes
that.
have to be realistic.
No,
dog.
they are. Let me tell you what's
Joe,
realistic.
no one's trading Odell, dog.
Let me tell you what's realistic. Week 1, 11 targets. Week 2, 10 targets. Week 3, 9 targets. Week 4, 7. Week 5, 6 targets. He had as many receptions yesterday as he did rush attempts. Okay? And he had 2 drops.
So
Baker Mayfield's QBR is 67.5, the worst when targeting OBJ. Just over 50% completion when targeting OBJ. 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions when targeting OBJ.
I mean, it's a thought, but it's just that's not happening. That's just there's just no way. There's no shot. I mean, if it happened, died. And I mean, what are you gonna?
Look at what. Well, hold on. Let me just tell you something. Look at what the Texans did. They traded. What did they give? A couple draft picks up, and they got Tunsil. How many times did DeShaun Watson? How many times did DeShaun Watson get sacked last game? I'll tell you how many times. 0.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think he was. I mean, yeah.
They already have the weapons. They have. Jarvis Landry has been more reliable than OBJ, and that's just undoubtedly true.
Yeah, yes.
Okay. Yes. Nick Chubb proved that he could run the ball really well, and the offensive line is struggling, so he's going to struggle. But even he put up a solid stat line. He put up 87 yards or something. Yesterday.
It was decent.
You got Njoku's going to come back. Who's the kid that dropped the ball and ended up in a pick? Is it Callahan? Is that his last name? Callaway?
Yeah, Callaway. Either Callaway.
Yeah, it's Callaway. He's honestly not bad. He just had that one bad play. It's just once Kareem Hunt comes back, you're gonna have to give him the ball. Like I said, Njoku. On the defense, they're pretty well off when it comes to secondary. I mean that front 7 needs some work, but I just think the 49ers are too good up front to really judge them off
for that to
game.
be. Yeah.
I'm just saying you could get a lot more bang for your buck if you trade OBJ.
I mean, yeah, you could look at it, but I think that, O-line stuff gets cleaned up and they'll be fine. They'll be fine. But it's, if they're running out of they'll be fines, so, yeah. But I mean, they did not destroy the Ravens, but they handed it to them a little bit. So this team can play, obviously. It's not, it's a weird,
but even then, OBJ had seven catches against the Ravens. And it was a very pedestrian performance. Or no, not 7 catches, 7 targets, 2 catches, I think.
Yeah.
And it was very pedestrian, and they still blew a team out. I listen. Baker Mayfield's the future of the team. Obviously, you took him first overall. Everyone there you traded for a reason, or you drafted. You got this guy off of off a trade last minute over the offseason. He has to be the most expendable out of everyone on that team right now.
I mean, not expendable. He's the most valuable, and he's like he's the most. When I say the best ratio between.
No, yeah,
I get it.
When I say expendable, he's not that core. He's a core guy, obviously, because of his name. But if you take him out, like they have been the last 3 weeks, doesn't make that much of a difference in the game.
Well, but yeah, you got to think he's not really getting taken out too. It's the whole Juju AB situation where when your one is that good, you got to account for him. He's not going to be.
The thing is, teams aren't even really accounting for him. He's dropping balls. Baker Mayfield, the throw, it was a cover 3. Richard Sherman was over top, or not even over top. He was underneath, and he just threw it in between the 2 zones, and Richard Sherman jumped up and caught it. I mean, I don't know. I just think out of everyone, if you're going to trade someone, OBJ is the guy.
It's not a bad idea, but we'll see. We'll see.
That's something I'm thinking about doing in Madden. Just see what I can make out of that team.
Let's see what happens. Yeah, you can get something. You get something. It's good value.
All right, we spent enough time on the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah.
We're going to go into the worst game, and it might, it probably offers more of a talking point than the past game. Who's going to win Washington and Miami?
I mean, the Dolphins are just that bad. I'm going with the Redskins. Let's see what.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of leaning towards, because even with the Owen whatever mentality they have, they've thrown the ball really well. So in the beginning of games, so hopefully, and they were in it with the Patriots for the first half. So I'm giving the benefit of the doubt to Washington in the worst game ever played on a football field.
Yes, we bet.
It might be 2-0. Now we move over to the 4:00 games, I believe. Yeah, Atlanta at Arizona. I don't know. Who do you think?
I'm taking the Falcons. They had a decently competitive game with the Texans, so I'm
put up
taking
a lot
them.
of points.
Yeah, the Cards won last week. You made me switch my pick, so I'll thank you for that. But yeah, I'm taking Atlanta.
I'm gonna go Atlanta too, but they're gonna lose. So you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna be different. I'm going Cardinals just because I'm never betting on Atlanta ever again. San Fran versus the LA Rams. I got San Fran.
Yeah, I think that the Rams, after the Bucks, and I'm taking San Fran. I think they're more of a consistent team. They know how to win. So,
I'm going to switch my pick just to be different. I'm going to go with the Rams. Actually, I don't know why. They're home, and the over's 50. I'd take that bet. Next game, a game we are all dreading.
A lot of points
in Gotham City.
Yeah,
Dallas versus the New York Jets. I'm leaning Jets because of Sam Darnold and
Sam's might come back. And honestly, the Cowboys really aren't that good. They're
not.
But neither are we. If we could just block people one-on-one up front, then I would have a better time picking us. But I can't because DeMarcus Lawrence could lose his mind and have 8 sacks. That is how bad our offense. There's not a single person on our offensive line who can block him, and that's what bothers me.
Oh yeah, 110%. But it looks like our guys on the offensive line don't know what they're doing. And if there's anyone to fix that problem, if it's not coaching, it's going to be Sam Darnold. He knows where people are supposed to be, and he could make those. He could legit tell people where you have to be on this play in the huddle.
And on top of that, it's not he faced this Bills defense week 1 and had a solid game. He was getting the ball to Crowder. Crowder was this, everybody was all picking up
15 catches.
Yep. He was using Le'Veon, but not abusing him. He had the throw to Robbie that was deep. So there, he didn't complete it, but it was there. This is gonna be a good game. This is definitely gonna be a good game. It's not gonna Cowboys fans. They're all playing the Jets. We're gonna be it's not.
Freedom boys. I already had one tweet me.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be a good game. I actually cannot wait to watch this game. But our offensive line is the only reason, because I believe if we could fix this offensive line in any way, shape, if we could just get one guy who we could just kind of, who we could kind of slide the line away from and know he would be good on his side, then I think we would be a better team than the Cowboys. In all honesty, we would be a better team than the Cowboys. But or could be. I'll say that because Zeke is ridiculous, but so is Lev. So
maybe this is an act of desperation. And if the Jets don't get a win, I don't know when we're going to get a win. I'm going just by the chance of God. Just something has to go right for this team. We're going to win. And the Jets are going to win. I'm going to circle that. We're going to beat the Cowboys.
All right, Joe.
I'm going with the Jets, and it's an act of desperation because we got New England next week, and I won't be able to pick my team until we play the Jaguars, which we don't know how they're going to be playing at the time. So, yeah, I'm going to go with the New York Jets.
Yeah, I think this is one. And I mean, honestly, I wouldn't rule out the Patriots if we can stay healthy and if CJ plays,
get
that
everyone back.
Things.
You get Chris Herndon back, Sam's favorite target.
That helps too a lot. That's a big safety blanket.
And Brandon Copeland, we get some more depth at that
Yep,
linebacking core because Neville Hewitt's playing good in the middle. I think we got a good team once we're healthy.
Yeah, I don't disagree, but I am going with the Cowboys. So next game.
Titans at Broncos. The Broncos are the favorite. I'm going Titans.
Yeah, I like Tennessee here too. I don't. The Broncos. They won
what the
last
Broncos
week,
did last. It was a fluke. Okay, if there was 5 more minutes on the clock, Chargers win or at least tie it up.
Yeah, so I'm going.
Next game, Pittsburgh at Chargers. Third string quarterback, same situation. I don't know what Mason Rudolph, if he knows where he is right now. They said he was in the building. I'm going Chargers.
Yeah, if Rudolph was playing, I would go Steelers here just to not be the person to keep picking favorites. But this is a game that I literally think the Chargers they're okay, but they're very iffy. I would have went, but I'm going to go with the Chargers just because you can't win with backup
Keenan Allen, Phillip Rivers, Gordon's back, and Eckler's still playing pretty well.
Eckler's still playing well, yeah. No,
but I
can't
do
win
like
backup quarterbacks in the league, bro.
Yeah, but I do like the over. I like the under. My fault.
Okay.
It's 41.5.
Yeah, no, that's not happening with one. I mean, unless the Chargers score all 41, I do not think so. Or
and unfortunately, that's the night game, so we might see a slaughter on
Sunday night. Yeah, I'll be.
Final game of the week. Just to reiterate: Oakland, Indy, Bears, Bills, all on a bye. Detroit versus Green Bay. I'm going Detroit. I know Green Bay's probably going to win, but I just love Detroit, what they're doing right now. They could have beaten the Chiefs.
Yep, they definitely could have, and they honestly should have. I mean, Galladay is ridiculous. He's insane. And Matty, he's
Bizarro Matt Stafford.
Too. He's good. But I'm going with the Packers. I think the Cowboys are a good team, and the Packers did win the game. And that is the reason why I'm going to pick them, just for that reason. I don't know. It's not the best reasoning, but I'm going to go with the Packers. But every time I pick them, something because they should have beat the Eagles. Nah, I'm gonna stick with them. The Lions they're good, but nah, Aaron Rodgers.
I also like the fact, and people underestimate how much this actually kind of helps. And the Jets, they just couldn't capitalize on it. You got 2 weeks to prepare for them. They know who they're playing. They had 2 weeks to sit back and watch this team. Detroit had a bye last week, I think, right?
Oh, yeah, they were on a bye, yeah.
Yeah, they were on a bye. And I do like the over, 47 points. So those are the picks. I'm going to throw it over to you, Throwback.
Yep. So we're something that we do. We can talk a little fantasy, talk a little college football. So I guess I'll go fantasy first. Wow, yeah. So Patrick Mahomes and T.Y. Hilton needed to have big games in order for me to win my game. Everyone else had a pretty average week. No one was too far under for my, projected points and all. That didn't happen, so I lost, putting me at 1-4. And I thought my season was over until I realized that there's 6 playoff teams. I don't know why I thought there was 4. I was convinced there was 4, but I got a shot.
In the ESPN leagues, there's usually only 4.
Okay, I guess that's what I was going off of. I had only last year I really did Yahoo, but yeah. So Saquon's back. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, I mean, I got a shot. I still got a really good team. Just AB, oh my gosh, just one of those things. But Joe, you're having quite the. We actually play each other this week.
We do.
But yeah, in that league. But I know your other league. What do you got going on in the other one?
In the other league, I'm 4-1. I was once again the highest scoring person in the league.
Yeah, you had 171 points, right, this week?
This week I was limited to 153, but the past couple weeks I've been consistently putting up 160, 170 points.
Yeah, which is
I got another good matchup with Russell Wilson at Cleveland. Amari Cooper might carve up the Jets. Julio, okay. Can we talk about Julio Jones fantasy-wise, okay? He's a good receiver in real life. There's no arguing that. But fantasy-wise, he gets targets, but he had 7 targets and still only managed 7.1 points. He didn't have that many yards either. I don't know what I should do with him. He's literally the weakest link in my team.
Yeah, he's one of those guys who is just, high ceiling, very low floor because of the nature of the Falcons offense. We don't know what the Falcons offense is. There's no consistency with it. Sanu's, he should be a rostered player in every league, but he's just not because the Falcons, what is their offense? I don't know. It just bothers me. But
Austin
you gotta keep him.
He's like the fantasy guy on that team.
Yeah. He's the one who you can rely on, because even the running back situation is awful. Like, you're not getting anything out of them.
Yeah, I'm kind of stuck at RB this week too, because David Montgomery's on a bye, and I don't know who to start. I'd probably have to start Ronald Jones against Carolina.
And he's not bad, but that's not someone you look forward to starting.
Against Carolina, overseas, different time zone.
Yeah, it's not going to work out. But I mean, it could. He's he has his games. But all right, let's move on. College football. So Oregon beat Cal Berkeley, the Golden Bears. Herbert, it was very lackluster. There was first pick or second pick, I think. But 200 yards, close to 50% completion, a little over 50%. But biggest thing with Oregon is Travis Dye, and Travis Dye is a running back. His brother Troy Dye is a linebacker, senior linebacker. He's a sophomore running back, I believe, and he had some bursts. He had 15 carries, 81 yards. And there was plays where you just see that he was the fastest player on the field almost. So Oregon's looking good. We'll see what happens. I don't even know who they have this week. I know they have Washington 2 weeks. There's some blowout game this week coming up.
That's kind of what Notre Dame was doing last week. I don't think it's illegal to talk about what Notre Dame did to Bowling Green. On anywhere, so we're not even going to speak of it. 52-0 could have been worse. They took out the starters in the second quarter. They covered the spread. They were favored by 45 points. So good for you, Notre Dame. You got USC coming up, which should be another pretty simple victory, and then Michigan, who will beat. Sorry, Colt. Your team is booty. Did not get a new pants guy for Jim Harbaugh, and it's showing in their performance.
It's Michigan's a bad way. But all right, that'll do it. That'll do it for the playbook. This is our week 6 edition. Thursday Night Football in 2 days. Came out late last week. It'll come out on time this week.
Minshew Mania, baby.
Yeah, he's a scrub. No, he's actually not. He's a good quarterback. But he's pretty good. He's pretty good. But all right, that'll do it. Playbook week 6. We'll see you again next week. Same time, same place, same people.
Yeah, same everything.
You can catch Sports Opinions at Sports Opinions 30 on Twitter. At Sports Opinions Podcast on Instagram. You can get me at REPJR on Instagram and Rob Planner Jr. on Twitter. Joe, you can find him.
You could follow me on Instagram, Twitter, whatever. I don't care about that. Just go on my SoundCloud new hack this week.
SoundCloud. Yeah, it is coming out this week.
I should finish it tomorrow.
So, yeah, honestly, that's gonna have to be the intro for next week. We're gonna have to talk to Alex about that. But all right, well, we will see you all next week. Deuces.